think with the doctor. Yes, he's got it. Here he comes. Way back the baby to sleep.
Until morning. Ewing.
Oh, wow.
He's going to try to get one more shot off the air. Push the buzzer.
How about that?
Steps over to Ron Lewis. He's got about three. He'll put up a three.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Boom Broadcasting presents 3 from D. I'm your host, Jason Calenzo. Welcome to the show. Here we go, guys, halfway through the week, Wednesday, April 2nd. Does that sound? 13 more days to the play-in tournament. The playoffs are coming. The playoffs are coming. The playoffs are coming. Guys, I am super excited about that. I can't wait. You know, the NBA season is such a long season. I know they've talked about shortening it up again. 82 games seems to be a long stretch. But we're finally here. We're less than 2 weeks away. Seeding is still all over the place, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit, guys. But I want to welcome you to the show. Thank you very much for joining me from 3 from Deep. Guys, if you're enjoying the show, like and subscribe. Jump on Boom Broadcasting. I hope you definitely do check me out, and not only me, but there's a lot of other great content providers going on with Boom Broadcasting, man. So get on the bandwagon, like, subscribe, go back and look at some of the old episodes, look at some of the different episodes we have here. Everything is on demand, right at your fingertips, so you can go in there and watch all of our different shows, man. So please jump on, support Boom Broadcasting, support your boy NY, and it is greatly appreciated, guys. So I thank you very much. Thank you very much for being here with me on this Wednesday, April 2nd. So that's good stuff. Again, we are finally here in April. The playoffs, we're sniffing them around the corner. I am so excited here. I want to see who's playing who. There is too much stuff up in the air right now, especially in that crazy Wild Wild West here. But first things first, let's jump into that fallout from that T-Wolves Detroit Pistons game on Sunday. T-Wolves won that game 123-104, but everybody's talking about the dust up, old school, not a hold me back kind of deal, but we haven't had a good NBA brawl in a long time. So this is one of the bigger ones that has happened. So some of the things that are going on with that is the Pistons are losing Isaiah Stewart for 2 games. Ron Howland for a game. Marcus Sasser for a game. And then the T-Wolves lose Dante DiVincenzo for a game. And Naz Reid for a game. So some suspensions going on. I know a lot of those guys are going to take them now. Detroit is kind of in that playoff mix right now. I don't think they have too much to worry about. T-Wolves, not good for you because you guys are still fighting for. You're in that play-in tournament. You still have a chance, an outside chance of kind of making it in to that top 6. So you can't really afford to be losing players right now. But again, a lot of fun, man, with those NBA dust-ups, the hold me back kind of dust-ups, man. It's good stuff. So big fallout from that. And then let's jump into Monday's game. We got to talk about the Lakers. It's not a sports show without mentioning the Los Angeles Lakers and, of course, Luka Doncic. But it was a huge win for those Lakers, getting beat up here lately, having some bad games against the Bulls. Lots of questions hovering around those Lakers right now. But a good win against the Rockets, 104-98. It was a close game. It was a good game. Luka, 20-9. Gabe Vincent showed up, 20 points, 6 from 3. LeBron James, mediocre game, 16 points, 8 rebounds. So not a huge game, LeBron, but he did have some plays that made a difference. And Dorian Finney-Smith made an appearance with 20 points, 6 from 3. So that's what the Lakers need. Is they're going to need those kind of role players to help them win some playoff games, because I don't think LeBron and I don't think Luka can do it alone by themselves. That West is way too deep and too heavy. But a key block from LeBron down the stretch on Alfred Sengun, and then a missed three by the Rockets kind of sealed their fate, solidified that Lakers win here. The Rockets just kind of ran out of gas in that game, man. Their leading scorer was Jalen Green. Their Rockets' leading scorer, Jalen Green, had 9 points. Alfred Sengun had 14 points. So kind of a weak game from the Rockets, man. I hope they're not running out of gas. And that's one of those things with these young teams is, this long NBA season, are they going to have enough left in the tank? It's hard fighting through the West. You're a second seed. Now you're going to have to turn on that extra bit when you're into the playoffs. But only their second loss in 14 games. So Rockets still playing phenomenal basketball, but those durability issues, those conditioning issues have me worried about a young Rockets team now. So I think this is a great win for the Lakers. They needed to kind of get off that slide and be a quality team. So I think that kind of gives them a little extra oomph finishing out this season. But I think this game was more important for the Rockets, and for some of the wrong reasons, is because you saw kind of just, they were fighting to get through this game, this long stretch. They need a break. So I think they're just kind of hoping to get this season over with, keep everybody healthy, and get into that little break before their playoffs start. Because, of course, you have the play-in tournament there from the 15th through the 18th, where a lot of these top teams are going to be able to kind of rest a little bit. And I think the Rockets need that right now. Young squad. I mean, they got Van Vliet on there. They got Brooks. I mean, so they got some veteran presence. They got some guys that have been there before. But the meat and potatoes of that team is still very young. And, 82 games, man. That's a long season. You get towards the end, these guys are going to start learning how impressive it is to be a LeBron James or a Luka Doncic, some of those guys that are at the top of their game, and they can turn it on that extra notch. They can really flip that playoff switch and come and hit the next gear, whatever you want to call it, once they get into the playoffs and really start making plays and noise and leading their teams to victory. So I think a lot of teams really see what it takes to make it through a season and to be a championship team. And it is hard. It is hard in the NBA, man. So, but impressive win for the Lakers. Rockets, I think you guys are struggling a little bit. I think you need a little bit of a break. So that'll be coming up soon here. You got a little less than 2 weeks here before the end of the season. So not a lot of games left. And getting into the next segment here, guys, I got my retro shirt on here. I was feeling a little throwback today because I want to talk about something that was interesting that happened. Derek White on Monday in a win against the Grizz, the poor Grizz, 117-103. Derek White for the Boston Celtics set the franchise three-point record with 247 three-pointers, a 43.8% shooting percentage from three. That's nothing to slouch about. And that had me thinking, it's like, man, he broke the Boston Celtics record. I'm like, that's the Boston Celtics. They've been around forever. They have had some of the greatest superstars to ever play this game. So that got me like, man, who did he pass? I mean, he had to pass. By the time they had the three-pointer in, so you think, well, maybe Paul Pierce was in there. Of course, you had Larry Bird. Danny Ainge even playing with them. It's like, so who was the leading three-pointer for the Boston Celtics? Well, I did a little throwback here. 87-88, Bird had the most in his career with 98 three-pointers. That's how much the game has changed. Larry Bird, probably one of the greatest shooters of all time, had 98 three-pointers in 87-88, and that was his highest total ever in his career. That's Larry Bird. Larry Legend, the hick from French Lick. Ray Allen, who was up there in three-pointers until he got kind of passed by everybody, and then Steph Curry passed everybody like he was on the Autobahn and just like 90 miles an hour past everybody. But Ray Allen, one of the greatest three-point shooters in NBA history, playing on the Boston Celtics. His best years in the Boston Celtics, and his best year was 08-09. He had 199 threes. So couldn't even crack 200, and that was one of his best. And this is one of the greatest shooters of all time. So, who did Derek White pass for this three-point record? Isaiah Thomas. Not that Isaiah Thomas, not the Detroit Pistons Isaiah Thomas. We're talking the newer version Isaiah Thomas. The 2016-2017 Isaiah Thomas had 245 three-pointers. So he was passed by Derek White. He had that year, Isaiah Thomas had an all-star season that was close to the backup the Brinks truck, and he was going to get paid, and then ended up getting hurt, and then it kind of derailed his career. He still salvaged it a little bit here, but I think he definitely fell short because of his injury. But I thought that was extremely interesting that Isaiah Thomas was the Boston Celtics leader in three-point shots. That shows you, again, how much the change of the game of basketball has changed and has become a three-point barrage. But that also got me thinking here, is Derek White going to be kind of an X factor for the Celtics trying to repeat? Because, you got Tatum, averages 27 points a game. You got Jaylen Brown, a little over 22 points a game. Porzingis, about 19 points a game. Peyton Pritchard, who has been phenomenal for the Boston Celtics this year. A heck of a player. I think his development is only going to get better. So I see a really, really phenomenal player coming out of Peyton Pritchard. He averages 14 a game. You got Horford, you got Drew Holiday. Those guys can score, but I think they're there more for the defensive aspect of it and kind of the, I would say, Energizer Bunny. Come out if you need a little pick-me-up. These guys come in and kind of give you a little extra boost. But Derek White, averaging a little over 16 points a game, is your three-point threat. And right now in the NBA, with everybody, chicks dig the long ball, everybody likes three from deep. I think Derek White is going to be pivotal in the Boston Celtics repeating as NBA champions. Jason Tatum, phenomenal player, should be in the MVP conversation. Jaylen Brown is a phenomenal player. Doesn't get nearly enough credit. Jason Tatum doesn't nearly get enough credit. You got the unicorn there, Porzingis, as long as he's healthy. But I think when it's all said and done, the Boston Celtics are going to need Derek White because the East is going to be hard to navigate through. You got, the Cavs, number one in the East. Boston behind them, 56-19. But Cavs over 60 wins right now, having a phenomenal season. Great defensive team. Able to spread and guard anywhere on the floor. Rim protection with Allen and Mobley. But the Celtics are going to need Derek White. If Derek White is on fire and can hit from three, it's going to be tough to beat the Boston Celtics. I still don't have them in the finals. I still think this is Cleveland's year, but Derek White catches fire and Jason Tatum plays like we all know Jason Tatum can, and that team stays healthy. It is going to be tough to get by the Boston Celtics. But guys, I thought that was interesting. The Boston Celtics, a historic team. Now you have Derek White as your leading three-point shooter for the season. So phenomenal job there. I usually don't talk college in here, but with March Madness going on right now, I wanted to sprinkle a little college in there too, because there's a lot of teams out there that are not going to make the playoffs this year, that are not even going to make the play-in. Some really, really bad teams are already thinking about the NBA lottery. And of course, that means Cooper Flag. Cooper Flag right now is the undisputed number one pick in the NBA. He was touted. He was worshipped during that Olympic summer with the gold medal team. He played on that gold medal team for the Olympics last summer, and he wowed everybody. There were NBA players on that team that were in shock and awe with how well Cooper Flag was playing. And that, boom, that just launched him into the stratosphere. He is now the consensus number one pick. So this lottery now is going to be the Cooper Flag lottery. It hurts because that means he could possibly go to the Wizards. He possibly can go. Who I'm trying to think who else is one of our worst teams in there. I hate to see him in a Wizards uniform. I think that's terrible. You have Charlotte in there too. So those bad teams could get better here when they get Cooper Flag on there. But who's going to be the number two? There's only one number one. Somebody else has to get the consolation prize, and the consolation prize is not that bad. So Dylan Harper out of Rutgers, guard, is going to he declared for the NBA draft, and it's looking like he is going to be the safe number two pick. 19.4 points per game, 4.6 rebounds per game, 4 assists a game, 48% shooting percentage, which is nothing to slouch at, so pretty good. He did have an ankle injury this year that kind of derailed him a little bit, and something with the flu that kind of had him kind of lose some weight and had people concerned about him. He did play on Rutgers. They had a 15 and 17 season, so not a Cooper Flag, who is in the Final Four of the NCAA tournament. But, he did break the Rutgers freshman scoring record. He's the 5th best scorer in the Big Ten, and he is right now slated to be the second pick in the NBA draft. So Dylan Harper announcing second pick. We'll see. That draft lottery is going to come up here pretty soon. It's going to be interesting to see who wins that. I'm still not a fan of the ping pong balls. Even though, with me being a Knicks fan, it did bounce our way one year, the first year, but it hasn't since. So we don't have to worry about ping pong balls this year. At least the Knicks are in the playoffs. But Dylan Harper coming out, declaring for the draft, consensus number 2 pick behind Cooper Flag. So we'll see what he does. A lot of people think he is ready for the NBA. So excited about that, and I'm sure a lot of poor performing teams are excited about that too here. So guys, we're going to quickly jump into the layup line here. I want to get you in and get you out today because I know it's Wednesday. We'll get you through the week. I'll have a special guest with me on Saturday's show. So check me out Saturday at 12 o'clock. Again, 3 from Deep here on the Boom Broadcasting Network. So let's jump right into the layup line here. First, Kevin Durant out at least a week. I have a feeling the Suns are probably going to shut him down with that left sprained ankle. So this looks like the end of the line for Kevin Durant as a Phoenix Suns. Look, Kevin Durant is a mercenary. He can get you points, average 26.6 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists this year. Not bad numbers for a 37. I think he's 37 now, 36, 37. I don't know if he had that birthday yet. He played 2 seasons in Phoenix, 27.1 last year. They were 6th in the West last year with a 49-30 record. But this year, not even close to that. They're in 11th right now and not looking like they're going to even get into the play-in the way that they're playing. So I think that's why Phoenix is going to shut him down. But poor performance in the playoffs last year, 6th again in the West, but then swept by those T-Wolves. The T-Wolves got hot in the playoffs last year and just blew the doors off of Phoenix. That whole team was a disappointment this year. Supposed to have the big 3 with Beal and Booker and Kevin Durant, and it never came to fruition. It was a terrible season as a Suns fan. So they better hope for when they trade Kevin away. They should get rid of Beal and they should get rid of Booker. Like, look, the Suns, let's just clean house. You guys got to get some draft capital because you're even having a terrible season, but you're not even going to be in the lottery this year. You don't even have your first round pick next year. So Phoenix, sell everybody, get you some draft picks, build your team back up. And let's see if you can get back to relevance again. Because right now, the process you guys went through did not work. Kevin Durant can still get you 25, 30 a game. Again, to me, he's a mercenary. He's points for hire. He's a James Harden that just, you can go out there and get those video game numbers. I still hate that people want to put him in the top 10. I don't care how many points he scores. Kevin Durant is not a top 10 NBA player. He may be top 20 in the pantheon of things, but he is definitely not a top 10. So, but a very disappointing even going back to the Nets. So like the last 4 seasons that Kevin Durant has played has been very disappointing ever since he left Golden State, which he never should have done. I think that ruined him. He should have recovered from his Achilles and went back and played with Steph. I think he could have sniffed another championship. I mean, Golden State won another championship. So very disappointed in the Suns. But Kevin Durant probably looking to go. I'm sure they're going to trade him away. So it'd be interesting to see where Kevin Durant lands next year. I've had a lot of people say he would look good in the Knicks. I'm not too crazy about that. I don't think his game really matches with the New York Knicks, although with him and Brunson and Cat, that would be something. I can see him on the Bulls or the Heat. I think the Heat and Kevin Durant would fit very well. Heat culture. Kevin Durant does not want to be the face of the NBA, or he doesn't want to be like that leader in the locker room. He just wants to show up and hoop and go home, kind of like Anthony Edwards and some of those other guys out there. Again, he wants to show up, get you his points, and go home. But be interesting to see where he goes next year. Then also, too, getting shut down for the year. Another disappointing team, the Pelicans. And they're also in that draft lottery, too. Shutting down C.J. McCollum and Zion Williamson. Zion, you talk about a bust. And look, the 30 games he played this year, he averaged 24.6 and 7.2 rebounds. He is talented. He just can't. His body fails him. He is like Joel Embiid, big, strong. You would think athletic. He is athletic, but just he's too big and too strong for his body. He's always getting hurt. And the best ability is availability. So Zion sitting, another disappointing season for the Pelicans. 21-54, 14th in the West, bottom of the barrel. I feel bad because the New Orleans is a great city. I think they need to rebrand. I'm not a big fan of the Pelicans nickname. I think it should be something a little more New Orleans-esque, but not a dirty seabird. So, but, Zion, done. CJ McCollum, done. Another disappointing season from the Pelicans. Ever since they got rid of AD, it just has been downhill. So, guys, again, the playoffs are coming. I am so excited for this. We're going to jump in. I got right here. I'm going to give you the quick rundown of everything that's going on, because 2 days from now, 3 days from now, this is probably going to change with all the movement going on, especially in the West, especially at the bottom with the play-in. Grizzlies are falling back. Golden State trying to bubble up. T-Wolves and Clippers trying to bubble up, get into it, not be in the play-in. Mavs trying to stay alive. The Kings trying to stay alive. So there's a lot going on right now. So we're going to break it down real quick. Thunder locked number 1. Best interconference record in NBA history, 27-1. Even though that Rockets lost to the Lakers, the Nuggets are 1.5 games behind them. So the Rockets are not locked into number 2 yet. With that Lakers win, they climb within 1 game of the Nuggets for number 3, 2 games on the Grizzlies. So they're still right there. There's still going to be some more movement at the top of the food chain. Clippers beat the Magic, pulling into a tie at number 7. Timberwolves over the tiebreaker. So, 6, 7, 8, everybody's fighting for that last playoff spot. They're all right there. So the Clippers, the Wolves, the Warriors, and now that the Grizz are falling back, that right there, you could have a 2-3 game swing. Next thing you know, you got one guy that's in front of the other. So the Warriors are not locked in. The Grizzlies are not locked in. It's great stuff right now, guys. Mavericks, half of the game lead over the Kings for number 9. Kings lost to the Pacers, but they're still in number 10. So they're 1 game above the Suns. Again, I think the Suns are mailing it in right now. I do not think they're going to be able to catch up. So I still think the Kings are right there. They still have, if they can catch fire, I still think they got a pretty good team, even though they lost De'Aaron Fox. I think Sabonis and the other guys on that team, I think they have enough. Zach LaVine, I think they got enough to kind of do something and hopefully get through the play-in, but we'll see. And then you jump into the Eastern Conference. Celtics pull within 4 games of the Cavs. I don't see the Cavs losing 4 or 5 games in a row to give up that first spot. So I think it's going to be Cavs 1, Celtics 2. I think you got the Knicks 3. I think they're pretty much locked in there. Pacers and Pistons are close, only a couple of games. So they're 2 games ahead of the Pistons for number 5. The Magic lost to the Clippers. They're 1 game behind the Hawks. So that play-in tournament, you have the Hawks at 7, Magic at 8, Heat at 9, Bulls at 10. And then that might be it, because I think Toronto's pretty much out. They're almost completely eliminated. So if they lose, they're pretty much done. Indiana clinches a playoff spot with an Atlanta loss, and Chicago's locked into the play-in tournament if they actually win. So still movement in the East, little bit, but the West, this could change here by the weekend. So I'll go over that on Saturday, because I really want to just jump in, because really it's going to come up to matchups, guys. That's why this seeding is important. That's why this play-in tournament is important, especially in the West, because I think that this is all going to come down to matchups. There's going to be some teams that match up well, and there's going to be some teams that don't. So, and we'll we'll review that here a little bit here. But Wednesday's games tonight, my Knicks play the Cavs. We need at least one win to feel good against the Cleveland Cavaliers because we haven't beat the Cavs. We haven't beat the Celtics. The guys in front of us right now, we need at least one win. Jalen Brunson is hoping to be back before the playoffs. So it's not going to be this weekend, I think. So probably after this weekend, he may come back with like 3-4 games left just so he can get in the game shape. But guys, Karl Anthony Towns, where you at? We need you guys to win this game. I need you at least get one win against the Cavs. You got the Heat playing the Celtics tonight, and then Thunder Pistons playing. Pistons, with that little chippiness here, but they're going to be kind of shorthanded with some of the guys that are serving that suspension. And then Thursday, you got the Grizz versus the Heat. Can the Grizzlies get off the mat and get that first win for their interim coach with everything going on? Now we're hearing that Ja kind of didn't like the offense from Taylor, their coach. And then they got him fired. And the Grizzlies, what a mess. And why would you do this a week before or 2 weeks before the playoffs? I have no idea. But the Grizz need to win. They're playing the Heat. The Heat want to win. So this is going to be an interesting matchup. And then Thursday night, you got Warriors-Lakers. So who's not going to love to see Steph go against LeBron? So Warriors still trying to hold on to that 6th spot and not slide back into the playoff tournament. So that's going to be an important game. And then Friday night, we got the Rockets versus OKC. So this is going to be an interesting game. Do both of these teams start resting players now? How hard do they play? Do they start pulling guys out after and do some minutes restrictions? Especially since they're pretty much OKC's a lock at 1. I think the Rockets, as long as they don't lose the rest of the games that they have left, I think they're pretty much a lock at 2. But that's going to be a phenomenal game, guys. And then you got the Warriors versus the Nuggets. Steph Curry against the dad bod god, Mr. Jokic. That should be a fun game. Nuggets hanging in there too. So, guys, this is madness going on right now. Even though March is over, now we're in April. Less than 2 weeks for the playoffs. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited too. I appreciate you joining me here. Comment questions, shoot me a text, shoot me a comment, like and subscribe. Jump on Boom Broadcasting, guys. We have a phenomenal channel. We have some great content providers. So please check us out and check me out on Saturday. I will be back again, 3 from deep, 3 times a week. And I will see you later. Peace.